Okay, so welcome once again, and we will begin from where we ended last time. So we had started with the sales process. I hope you can see my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. At any point of time, if you have any doubt, comment, criticism, anything, just unmute yourself and contribute. As I said, selling process is, we have 6 or 7 steps, and we strongly believe that if you follow the selling process properly, the chances of success are really, really high. So the steps are prospecting, pre-approach, approach, presentation, follow, close, and follow up. I showed you last time, these were the, give me a minute, these were the various processes. And I said we will discuss it with a real-time example. And the example that we took was that you are a publisher and you have come out with a great sales and distribution book. So how should you go about it? We discussed prospecting and pre-approach, which basically told the importance of prospecting and pre-approach. The third step comes, which is now approach. Approach does not mean meeting the customer. Approach means this is the first time when you come in contact with the customer. How do you come in contact? It may be when you establish contact. So you have done your prospecting, you have done your pre-approach. Hopefully, you have been able to filter your data, you have been able to get the list of organizations whom you should target. Hopefully, you have done your pre-approach also, and you know very well, you're well versed with the organization, you're well versed with the people who take decision, you're well versed with the process they follow in order to take the decision, their budget, so on and so forth. And now you're ready to contact them. There are various ways of contacting. So this is where you have to decide. Should I contact them through an email or should I contact them through a phone? Should I seek an appointment or should I send a sample copy? And all this will be decided by the research you have done in your prospecting and pre-approach. If I send an email, to whom should I send the email? Should I send an email to the library? Should I send an email to the faculty? Should I send an email to the director? Or should I contact the students who can then go ahead and say, hey, we want to study from this book if possible? Whom should you send the email? Or should I just pick up the call and ask for 2 minutes with the concerned person? Again, whom should I talk to? Even if I send a sample copy, whom should I send the sample copy to? And then most important, what should I talk? What should I write? How should my email be so convincing that they actually read it? Because please understand, in the times of today, you and I are getting so many emails every day. And let's be honest, there are so many we don't even read. They just go into our trash box. How do I ensure that they not only open my email, they also read it? So, approach is that step when all your research, all your homework may possibly now give you an answer to take that first step to reach out to your consumer. And you need to be right. You can use various approach. So you can, if you are a famous publisher, great, you can most probably talk about your brand name, your company's reputation. You can talk about the books that have been huge success in the past, because who said that you just have to talk about one book? Maybe you can talk about a plethora of books. Maybe you can talk about the benefit approach. So that's how we actually sell insurance. So should I speak about the benefits that they will get if they use their book, and what will be the benefits? How are these benefits different from your competitors? If your product is an innovative product which has never been there in the market before, maybe that's the way to do it. And that's what AquaGuard did 20 years back when they first introduced the filters, the water filters in our country. What a great product they had introduced, and how did they go about selling it? Is this something premium? I mean, should I use that approach? Please remember, at the end of the day, you should make the prospect feel important, because in our communications, the problems we face is, there's a very famous article in, again, HBR 2009, which says that good communication relies on a lot of factors, but three or four important factors are: appreciate. We people have a lot of problems appreciating anyone or anything. Learn to appreciate. Have a connection with the other person. Now, when you're talking about a book, what kind of connection are we talking about? Maybe have you done your homework? Maybe if when you did your pre-approach, you found out that the faculty or the director whom you're contacting maybe belongs to a certain university, and you too belong to the same university, or your book is being used in that same university. Maybe if you mention this in your email, that might have some effect. Allow the other person to have the freedom to express themselves. You may agree to disagree, but allow that freedom. In businesses, yes, the status and role also becomes important. So what do I mean by status? Sometimes if I am at a junior post, I may be uncomfortable talking to my senior, or if I am a senior, I may be at times hesitant in saying something to my junior. Yes, it becomes sometimes uncomfortable. However, you should not allow the status to affect your communication, because communication has to be transparent. People often ask me that how do we decide how that what will work and what will not work. I wish there was some sure shot scientific formula, but there is not. Again, this is taken from an article, and it says that these four things work when you are communicating with someone. And again, please understand, when I'm talking about communication, I'm talking communication over phone, I'm talking communication over email, I'm talking any form of communication. And it says that first, truth of words. Don't talk, हवा में बात मत करो. Don't talk about things which you know you cannot deliver. If you're selling a machine and you know that it cannot be delivered before 5 months, please do not promise that we'll deliver it in 3 months. Be honest. Let them understand, sir, we will try our level best, but in all probability, we cannot deliver it before 5 months. Because when you do not tell them, the truth always comes out. And it really, really hurts when the other person realizes that he or she was taken for a ride. Competency, knowledge, be well versed about your product. Empathy. This is so easy to write, and one of the most difficult things. What is empathy? When you see the picture from the other's point of view also. But for me, it's likability, which is the most difficult, because I may like someone and you may not like, and so may be reverse. You may like someone and I may not like. And yet at the end of the day, then how do we define likability? So I always do this little experiment in my class, offline classes, but let me do this experiment with you also. And I want you to write in the chat box. I want you to first just close your eyes and think of the person whom you do not like. Stop. Stop at the first name that came into your mind. If that first name was of your ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, change and go to the second name. Now, in the chat box, just write in 2-3 words. I don't want to know who that person is, and I don't want to know what your relationship with that person is. I just want 2-3 words as to why you don't like that person. Is he rude? Whatever. Just 2-3 words. That's all. Can you go ahead and add it in the chat box? Selfish and egoistic. Fake. Good. Past. You don't have to think. If you have to think, then you don't know. Just the first name that came to your mind and why, and fast. And if there's no one whom you do not like, then congratulations, you are God. Please tell us your name because we need to worship you. Negative energy. Great. Only 3 people. Vamsi, childish, pessimistic, fantastic. Khushi, Samya, Shite, Janushka, Suti, Vamsi, Huner. Can you write? Pratik, Kashi, stupid, demotivating, mean, great. Shubham, Paritosh, Pratik, manipulative, dishonest, mean, immature, selfish. Yes. Another 10 seconds, emotionally unavailable, arrogant, rude, toxic, manipulative. I love the words. Yes. Just 10 more seconds before I close. It's boring. Manipulative. Okay. Yes. So we makes me feel inferior. Okay. So we close this and I come back to you people. Likeability. Did you see, and I'm not saying this, I mean, this is your generation, which sometimes makes me believe that you do not believe in manners, and yet you do. Because look at all the reasons that you have given why you don't like someone. They have all to do with manners. And you know what the irony of the situation is? We spend half our life in front of the mirror because we think a person likes us or does not like us because of the way we look, while it has nothing to do with the way we look. Obviously, when I say the way we look, I'm not saying that you can not take a bath for 10 days and smell like a dustbin and still expect people to like you. No, I'm talking about the physical looks. We do not like, or we like someone because the person does not have manners or the person does have manners. And therefore, though you may think that you are really, really modern age and for you manners do not really matter, surprise, surprise, you're as old-fashioned as I am. At the end of the day, you like people who have manners and you do not like people who do not have manners. And same goes for the salesperson. We like a salesperson who has manners, as simple. We do not like if they do not have manners. And therefore, when I talk about this, I say likability. What is likability? Manners. Please treat the other person as you would like to be treated yourself. Well, as I said, all this is easier said than done, and this is something which we only learn by practicing. The non-verbal dimension becomes extremely important. And this obviously, if you are meeting, we haven't yet got an appointment to meet, but if you do get an appointment to meet. So this is a very famous case, which I picked up from a book, and it says that there was this person who was traveling from US to meet a client in the Gulf or the West Asia, as we call it. And over there, what happened that he was made to wait for a long period of time. And finally, when he did go in the office, there were other people also. And he was just really, really not happy about the whole thing. Who was wrong? Was Bill wrong or was Abdullah wrong? Nobody was wrong. What was wrong was not understanding each other's culture. Bill belongs to a culture, so I'm sure you have done Gert Hofstede matrix in one of the semesters, which talks about culture. Bill belongs to a culture where you come straight to the point. You do not really waste time in talking about here and there. And therefore, if I'm here for a particular thing, let's get straight to the point. They're very particular about time, and that's what he expected. On the other hand, Mr. Abdullah, and even maybe us, we belong to a culture where we first try to we think that we are trying to make the other person comfortable by talking to him or her about the family, about their work, about the climate, and so on and so forth. And then we get down to business. That's the way we think is right. Both are right. But both were wrong because they did not understand each other's culture. They did not respect each other as the human being. They did not have any empathy. And therefore, a business deal, which could have easily happened, did not happen. So, and now, if we just sum up everything, the HBR article says that a good salesperson needs just two basic qualifications, only two. Number one, empathy, which means the ability to see the picture from others' point of view. And number two, ego drive. Now, when I say ego drive, it does not mean that inflated ego where you think that you're God's gift to mankind. It means the need to conquer. You cannot be a salesperson, or you cannot, unless and until you somewhere feel, yes, I have to reach that goal. This goal is important for me. So what, at the same time, what should be important is the ability to feel. I wish I could draw the matrix, but there are only four combinations that can happen. And those four combinations are: number one, you may have empathy and you may really have a good ego drive. Congratulations, you are the best salesperson. You may have great empathy. However, you don't have any passion to reach your goal. Who are you? You are that nice guy. You are that person whose shoulder is borrowed by everyone to cry. However, you do not reach the goal, and therefore we really appreciate you. We really respect you as that lovely person, as that nice person, but you're not a salesperson. The third combination, you do not have any empathy. You can never see the picture from others' point of view. Your world begins with I and ends with I, and you really believe that I need to reach my goal, whatever be the situation. Reaching that goal is most important for me. My God, yes, maybe you will achieve the targets. But business is not just about having customer once. Business is about repeat customers. Business is about continuity, and this person will never have continuity because he may bulldoze his way for the sales first time, but those customers will never come back because somewhere in the process he has really hurt the customers, he has really hurt his colleagues. And therefore, yes, he may be good if you want to achieve the targets in a short term period of time, but if business is about continuity, this person is toxic, he's very harmful. And finally, you neither have empathy, you neither have any drive. Please find out why you exist on this planet Earth. What are you doing? Okay, so just look at this. I have simplified it, and there are just four combinations, but look at how difficult it is to get a salesperson, a good salesperson, because out of those four, there's only one box which gives us the good salesperson, which means out of 100 people, maybe only 25 people get the ability to become a good salesperson. And then we don't know out of 25 how many actually want to become a salesperson. So finding a good salesperson has become extremely difficult because we want a person who respects the customer and yet at the same time is also serious about the goal. Well, if you have been able to get all these things, if you understand that you need to respect the culture of others, you need to understand that you need to give space to others. You understand that, yes, I need to do my prospecting and pre-approach very seriously. Then maybe you are ready for the next stage, which is the sales presentation. However, at this point of time, I'm going to stop the class and then open the house for discussion, because these are some very important things. And if we can understand this, then yes, maybe we will be ready to take the next step. So at this point of time, let me just end the class and I will open the house for discussion.